The wrestling world has been shattered beyond repair, and what I'm about to reveal will make your blood boil with rage. Triple H just dropped a bombshell announcement that has sent shockwaves through every corner of the WWE Universe, and if you think you can handle the devastating truth about Roman Reigns' condition after that barbaric attack at Clash at Castle Paris, you're about to be proven dead wrong. While you were sleeping peacefully in your beds, believing that your tribal chief was safe, WWE management was in crisis mode, frantically trying to cover up the horrifying extent of the damage done to the man who has carried this company on his back for over 3 years. And the worst part? They almost got away with keeping you in the dark forever. What happened in that ring wasn't just another wrestling match, it was a calculated assault that crossed every line of professional wrestling ethics, and the perpetrators are walking around scot-free while Roman Reigns faces the fight of his life. Triple H's trembling voice during yesterday's emergency press conference revealed details so shocking that several wrestling journalists walked out of the room in disgust. But here's what's going to make you absolutely furious: this attack was preventable. WWE officials knew about the threats, they ignored the warning signs, and they let Roman step into that ring like a lamb to slaughter. The evidence I'm about to present will make you question everything you thought you knew about WWE's so-called safety protocols and their complete disregard for their top superstars' well-being. You want to know why Roman Reigns hasn't been seen since that fateful night in Paris? Why his usual social media presence went completely silent? Why Paul Heyman looked like he'd seen a ghost during that cryptic segment on SmackDown? The answer is more terrifying than you could possibly imagine, and it's about to tear the wrestling world apart. Triple H's announcement didn't just reveal Roman's condition, it exposed a web of corruption, negligence, and cover UPS that goes straight to the top of WWE's corporate structure. Sources inside Stamford are telling me that emergency board meetings have been happening around the clock, with several executives facing potential criminal charges for their role in this disaster. The attack at Clash at Castle Paris wasn't random violence, it was orchestrated by individuals who had inside knowledge of Roman's exact location, his security details movements, and even his medical vulnerabilities that were supposed to be confidential. Someone betrayed the tribal chief, and that someone is still walking the halls of WWE headquarters right now. What makes this even more infuriating is that Roman's own family members are being kept in the dark about his true condition. The Anoa'i dynasty, wrestling's most respected family, is being lied to by the very company that Roman bled for, sacrificed for, and gave his soul to for the better part of a decade. The disrespect is absolutely unconscionable. But wait, it gets worse. The medical reports that Triple H referenced during his announcement paint a picture so grim that WWE's insurance company is already talking about massive payouts and potential lawsuits that could bankrupt the entire organization. We're talking about injuries that could end not just Roman's wrestling career, but potentially affect his ability to live a normal life. The Paris attack wasn't just physical brutality, it was psychological warfare designed to break the man who represents everything WWE claims to stand for. The attackers knew exactly where to strike to cause maximum damage, using weapons and techniques that suggest professional training in inflicting harm. This wasn't heat-of-the-moment violence, this was a premeditated assassination attempt on Roman's career and life. And here's what's going to make your blood pressure skyrocket: Triple H revealed that there were multiple opportunities to stop this attack from happening. Security footage shows the perpetrators conducting surveillance on Roman for weeks before the event. WWE security had this information and chose to do nothing because they didn't want to create unnecessary panic or disrupt the show's flow. The negligence is so staggering that former WWE superstars are coming out of the woodwork to share their own stories of being put in dangerous situations by company officials who cared more about ratings than human lives. The pattern of abuse is becoming impossible to ignore, and Roman Reigns is just the latest victim in WWE's culture of putting profit over people. Sources close to Roman's medical team are telling me that his injuries are so severe that doctors are having to consult with specialists from around the world just to develop a treatment plan. We're talking about damage that goes beyond what typical sports medicine can handle. This is trauma typically seen in car accident victims or combat veterans. The emotional toll on Roman's family is devastating beyond words. His wife and children haven't been allowed to see him because doctors are concerned that his current condition might be too traumatic for them to witness. Imagine being told that your husband and father is hurt so badly that seeing him could cause psychological damage to his own family members. But here's where the story takes an even more sinister turn. WWE executives are actively working to suppress this information from reaching the public. They've been threatening journalists, bribing medical staff, and using their corporate influence to keep major news outlets from reporting the full extent of Roman's condition. The cover-up is almost as shocking as the original attack. Triple H's hands were literally shaking as he read from prepared statements during the press conference, clearly struggling with the ethical dilemma of balancing company loyalty against basic human decency. You could see the conflict in his eyes as he tried to downplay the severity while legal advisors whispered in his ear about liability issues. The wrestling community is in complete uproar over this situation. Current WWE superstars are reportedly meeting in secret to discuss their own safety concerns and potential collective action against the company's negligent practices. We could be looking at the biggest uprising in professional wrestling history, all triggered by WWE's failure to protect their biggest star. What makes this story even more heartbreaking is that Roman had been receiving death threats for months leading up to the Paris event. Security reports show a clear escalation in threatening communications directed at the tribal chief, but WWE's response was to increase his workload and book him in even more high-profile matches. They literally used him as bait for unstable individuals. The financial implications of this disaster are staggering. WWE's stock price has been in free fall since rumors of Roman's condition began circulating, wiping out billions in market value and threatening the job security of thousands of employees who had nothing to do with this catastrophic failure in leadership. But perhaps most infuriating of all is the way WWE is trying to spin this narrative to make themselves look like the victims. Internal memos obtained by wrestling journalists show executives discussing how to blame Roman himself for the attack, suggesting he should have been more aware of his surroundings or taken personal security more seriously. The victim blaming is absolutely disgusting. The medical experts treating Roman have told Triple H that his recovery timeline is completely uncertain, with some specialists suggesting that he may never be able to return to active competition. We're potentially witnessing the end of one of the greatest championship reigns in WWE history, not because Roman lost in the ring, but because corporate greed and negligence destroyed his career. As I wrap up this explosive revelation, remember that WWE is counting on your short attention span and willingness to forget about this story as soon as the next shiny distraction comes along. They want you to go back to cheering for their predetermined entertainment while ignoring the real human cost of their business practices. The wrestling world will never be the same after Triple H's announcement, and Roman Reigns' condition represents a turning point that will define WWE's future for generations to come. The question isn't whether Roman will recover, it's whether WWE can survive the reckoning that's coming for their years of putting profits over people. If this story doesn't make you demand better from WWE, if it doesn't make you question everything about how this company operates, then you're part of the problem. Roman Reigns deserved better, the WWE Universe deserves the truth, and the wrestling industry needs a complete overhaul before another superstar pays the ultimate price for corporate negligence. Share this video immediately, comment your outrage below, and make sure everyone knows what WWE tried to hide from you. The tribal chief's legacy depends on us refusing to let this story disappear into the corporate machine that created this disaster in the first place.